Hello there, YouTube. It is your boy B3 back with another kicking graphic novel review. Today's trade is Daredevil Volume 2, No Devils, Only Gods. Yep, pretty cool. Volume 2, No Devils, Only God. So, the man without fear is missing. Daredevil has disappeared from Hell's Kitchen, and in his absence, the real devils are starting to come out to play. Detective Cole North may think he's stopped Daredevil, but there are bigger problems coming his way. Meanwhile, Matt Murdock has emerged from his recent ordeals a changed man. But has he changed for the better? Or worse? As he faces up to the choices he's made, Matt grapples with who he is and who he wants to be. Can he truly live a life without the suit? From Marvel Comics and rated T14 and collecting Daredevil 2019 6-10 by Chip Zdarsky, Light Kumar Shannara, Jorge Fornes, Jay Leston, and Javier Targigela. I'm sorry, I pronounced all those wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm a bad man, Daddy. I'm also sorry for what I just said. Okay, now let's get into the meat of this sheet. So he's equipping Daredevil, and he's pretty happy, you know? I mean, gangsters are still taking protection money from businesses, but Matt Murdock, he's living it up. You know, Detective Cole North ain't having the best time. He's getting hassled about bringing in vigilantes, and none of the cops like him because he's a goody two-shoes, and he knows they're all on the take and wants to take them down. Kingpin is a little upset that he didn't get to stop Daredevil, but he's starting to come to terms with it. Matt Murdock goes to a bookstore to get a present for Foggy, and he's kind of got the hots for the woman running it. She's drawn pretty inconsistently throughout the run. Sometimes she's drawn as a bit of a bigger woman, and then sometimes she's drawn as a stick. It just depends on who's penciling her, I guess. But she's pretty cool. She's a very interesting character, probably relatable to many women, I'm sure. Detective Cole North, now that Daredevil has disappeared, is trying to take down Spider-Man. But the way Spider-Man travels is very hard for him to track, and Spider-Man's really fast. And the Kingpin feels like he's changed a lot. Doesn't know what to do. Matt Murdock is no longer a lawyer. He's a parole officer. He feels that he can do better as a parole officer. He can do more good. Detective Cole North gets the snot beat out of him by some dirty cops. Some of them die, and he rats on all of them in this page that I really like. He rats on all the cops that assaulted him, the ones that survived, and the ones that died. Rats out the dirty cops. He's hyper honest about it, and that just makes all the other cops hate him more. Meanwhile, normal people are putting on Daredevil masks and going out to stop crime by themselves. It's become kind of a movement of sorts. Not the kinds that I'm going to have after this review. That would be a number 2. This is only volume 2. And that, my friends, is a good joke. But yeah, I love that 7-panel page where Cole North, the detective, just rats on everyone, and he's like, do the job, detective, no matter what. The Owl kind of gets a stern talking to by Kingpin, who says he's quitting crimes. That's right, Wilson Fisk. I mean, he's still going to be a shady mayor, but he's not going to be running the criminal underground. But that kind of creates a power vacuum, and the Owl, oh, he wants to fill it. Boy, does he want to fill it. Daredevil ends up, or should I say Matt Murdock, ends up becoming the parole officer of the brother of the guy he killed. He has a panic attack. Everything just goes wrong. He ends up talking to this sister, a nun, and this nun is very important in this run. Of course. Very, very important. But all these people stopping crime, and even though he's not Daredevil anymore, Matt Murdock kind of just sits up at night and uses his radar senses to detect crimes across the city, and then just keeps anonymously calling 911 to report them, because he can't stop hearing them. Poor guy. And I just want to take a break to say that the cover arts in this book, incredible. Incredible cover arts for the whole run. And this book really goes hard on the religious stuff. And I think if I'm not a religious person myself at all, but I think if you're writing Daredevil, you really, really need to make religion a big part of his character. I feel like that's the thing that sets Daredevil apart from so many heroes, is his faith. So Daredevil goes back to the bookstore. He's flirting with the married woman that runs it. Of course. And she invites him to dinner. Wilson Fisk is running a marijuana scam with the governor legally. They're delaying marijuana laws until they can buy up a bunch of land to grow marijuana on so that they can begin legally profiting on it as soon as it becomes legal. And it turns out the family Matt Murdock is having dinner with, yeah, it's the Libris crime family. And they have a big philosophical discussion about right and wrong, and Matt Murdock kind of ends up saving their lives from a shootout. Pretty insane stuff. Pretty insane stuff. And he gets to talk to Detective Cole North, this time, of course, as Matt Murdock. The Owl is still going on a killing spree. He's invading territories even though he's not supposed to. Matt Murdock has a chat with Reed Richards that's very insightful. And Mindy, the woman that invited Matt to dinner, she invited a lawyer to dinner with a crime family just because she was mad at her husband and she wanted him to be pissed. And Matt Murdock, he's still a creep. Daredevil gets laid constantly. It's insane. It's really insane. And she does eventually start sleeping with Daredevil just as a method of escape. Or sleeping with Matt Murdock, I suppose. I'm just using the names interchangeably. The Detective Cole North kind of gets in some trouble again. A bunch of dirty cops beat the crap out of his partner, who's also, not on the take. And they tell Detective North that he better get in line, or they're going to kill everyone he cares about. They're going to kill his partner. They're going to kill people he cares about back in Chicago. They're going to really rough him up. And then Matt Murdock, he can't stop. He's putting on a mask again, but he's not dressed as Daredevil. And he's trying not to be violent. He's trying to subdue people or talk them out of it or distract them long enough for victims to get away. He's not really as violent as he used to be because he's come to realize that a lot of this violence is a crutch for him. He's doing it for him, And so the brother of the man he killed gets put behind bars. Matt's there as a parole officer, but also a bit as a lawyer. And something goes down in the station. Turns out the partner, Detective Cole North's partner, that got the shit beat out of him, he wasn't supposed to die. They weren't trying to kill him then. But he did end up dying. And so they were like, oh, crud. Detective North, he's going to rat us all out because we just kind of killed the only person he's close to in this city. The only person. So they try to kill him just in the police station. The Owl sets fire to the bookstore that Mindy runs. And since Matt Murdock is in the prison when stuff goes down, he puts on a mask and runs to help. But the parolee, whose brother he killed, sees him do that and kind of now knows he's not as blind as he lets on and has pretty much figured out that he's Daredevil. But he is able to save Cole North, and since he's not dressed as Daredevil, he can take the blame for the crime because he knows Cole North isn't going to be able to pin it on these police officers, and they're probably not going to be able to pin it on him either. But this way, he can keep Cole out of some trouble, and Daredevil will get away with it. He just will. And then Elektra shows up to help retrain him because he's gotten very, very sloppy. But that is it for Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky, Volume 2, No Devils, Only God, from the 2019 to 2021 run. Thank you all very much for listening. I will be reviewing Volume 3 very soon. I've also got all the Devil's Reign stuff and the rest of this run until it kind of restarts after Devil's Reign. I don't have any of those, but the volume for that, the first volume for that, comes out in February 7th. From the time of recording this, I'm recording this in October 2022. So we'll have to see, but I got a lot of reviews coming, and I'll definitely hit you up. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.